All right, hello there. Welcome to the Undisputed YGO podcast with me, your host, Rob slash Cydra, and my
Me.
co-host and partner in trouble here, Luqah YGO slash Luke. Luke, how are you doing on this fine evening, night, day?
It's definitely night. It's very late here where we are. But
Yeah, but how are
yeah,
you though?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
It's,
I
it's, it's, it's good to hear.
yeah yeah. I was tempted to play remote duo locals today, but I decided not to.
Ah, so you're a smart man.
Yeah. They all start at like 6:30 p.m. and you finish work at like 5 o'clock. And I'm like, I don't have time to make dinner and settle and then get ready to play for 3-4 hours and sweat. It's not worth it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Well, we've got a few topics to get into on this fine podcast.
me too.
Mainly our early Yu-Gi-Oh beginnings.
Yeah,
So,
basically more of our backgrounds.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if you remember exactly how we met.
Well, I say what we can do is I can give my side of the story, then you can give yours.
Right.
We can see if they're similar because you're like what you're 2 years younger than me, so you might not remember more than I do.
I know I remember this, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we could just start like uh when I was about 10. Yeah, I was about 10. I moved to Rob's neighborhood. I lived like around the corner, and everybody, and I mean everybody, was playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Every kid on the street. They keep in mind now. So I'm 26 now. So this would be 16 years ago. It would be 2005. So everybody on their moms had Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
It might have
Uh,
actually been before that.
no, it was
Be-
it was it was 2005 because I was only starting fourth class.
No, because
So
my brother is turning 17 this year.
it could be,
He was born 2004, and I knew you before he was born.
yeah. Maybe it's 2004 then.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I remember I got this fake Exodia. You know all the ones that has like infinity on it and it's like big dark rabbi.
The
them very
ultimate
very
Spanish cards.
yeah. But back then people didn't care. They just want to have Exodia and I'm gonna like the logic wasn't really there because like there were people who played it just to play with their friends and then there was people who wanted to play it and actually play and be good at the game. But there was no like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh back then, like especially not at the age of 10 years of age. But yeah, there was a guy on my street, and he wanted the Exodia off me like really badly. Like he was just like, "Man, I'll give you like almost all my cards. I have hundreds and hundreds of cards." And like he didn't even care if they were like foil or anything like that. He was like, "I'll give you these cards for that Exodia." Me being like, okay, I guess like gave him the Exodia, and he handed me a full plastic bag of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just go out and trade with all this, I guess. Then I think I used to just walk. I think it's just I used to just walk around with this plastic bag full of cards, and like none of them sleeve, no deck boxes back then, like nothing, just solely like swinging cards around like a weapon if I wanted to use it. But I walk around the corner then, around Rob Street, like, and I see a kid outside playing, and he has Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And this guy is like much younger than me. Like this guy, it's Rob's brother. Like he's like 5 years younger than me. No, wait, no, he's not that younger. 3 years,
Three
3 years,
years.
3
Yeah.
years. But at the time, he would have been like 6 or 7, and he had the God cards that were also fake. They were like like from ones you get from like Spain or some bootleg market.
Yeah, so I
Uh,
think I just gotten those from a guy
yeah,
around the corner again.
yeah.
I think that was another massive trade. I think I had to trade him like GTA cheats or something for those.
Uh, back at the time. Uh, yeah, that was back in the days when like cheat master books were like €10 and you had to pay for it just to get like 4 cheats.
Oh,
But
man, these were like literally handwritten, laminated,
oh, in the
like
book,
cheat
yeah,
codes. I remember them doing the rounds in the neighborhood.
Yeah. But anyways, I told him that he want to trade, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I see like all your cards, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh I don't know if I should trade these. These are my brothers." Walks into the house. Here's me at the front door, like not knowing who these people are. Robert's grandmother comes out. Oh, come on in, come on in. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm going into the house. Yeah, I go in. See, like back then as well, like you just like it was fine going into someone else's house. Now it's just like, no, ring the police, ring the police. But yeah, now I go in like upstairs. I think it was Alan's room at the time. Where well, it'd be your uncle's Alan's room now.
Yeah,
That was the room that you used to stay in.
that was the spare room.
Yeah, that was the spirit. That was where the PlayStation was, and that's where like there was this like was it Bob the Builder, the Bob the Builder Bucket King? Do you remember that?
Yeah, there
The
was like
Bob,
it
it's
was a
like a
sea
crate.
chest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was
Yeah.
that, and the top was always broken. You had to always put it back on.
No, that
But
broke later.
oh yeah, yeah. Anyways, I go into the room. Oh, I'm really dragging this out, but I go into the room and Robert's there, and he's just like, "Oh, cool, you have Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Let me see." And we throw the bag out, and like, "Oh, there you go, have a look." And find out, I was like, "Oh, you have wrestlers? Oh, I like wrestling too." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I have a PlayStation, I have wrestling games." I was like, "Oh shit, wrestling games? That's my stuff." And from then on, it was kind of like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow." And I never left.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it a little bit differently.
Hmm.
Like now that you mention interacting with Lee Force,
Hmm.
I remember Lee mentioning some young fella with a bag full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards wanting to swap for something that he had. I'm like, no, don't do that. That's just stupid.
Hmm.
And then I said, well, let's see what his cards are. And then I think I was out in the front garden at this stage,
Hmm.
um, having a deal with somebody with the dual discs, you know, the big plastic yokes. I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly who it was. I was
So
playing.
many cards were destroyed with them.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
And I remember you coming around. I think your sister was with you, and she kind of like was like the icebreaker because obviously two shy kids that like never really like they have never met each other,
yeah.
and the only thing in common we have is Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's kind of like, oh yeah, here, look at the trades. So I
I know
think,
for a fact though it was like the first couple of weeks when I moved in was when I
yeah,
went.
yeah, 'cause I think one of the other lads on the road was like, oh yeah, this young fella's walking around with a bag full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. He's in my class.
You know what's actually really funny as well that I actually just remembered
Yeah.
is that you used to walk around with a suitcase.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to ask if you remember the big
Yeah,
Seto Kaiba
yeah,
briefcase
yeah. It was
or
just full of
suitcase, whatever you want to
was
call it.
so this is like a big like see obviously people don't know this is like a big silver metallic briefcase that was just
Just imagine Seto Kaiba. That
yeah.
was me. I was Seto Kaiba, except I wanted to be Yugi.
So I was Yugi and I kept beating him. But
All right,
but
I guess some things never change.
yeah, there's some things like I remember it was just cards everywhere as soon as you opened the briefcase, which is no structure,
Yeah,
no
that
nothing.
that that was originally a carrying case for a PS2, but I took out the PS2 and all the little dividers and stuff like that, and just threw all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in there because I was like, Kaiba is like this. I'm gonna be like Kaiba. Come on, Lee, carry me cards around like Mokuba.
Yeah.
And Lee was pretty much my card slave for like a couple of weeks.
Well, that was really funny as well because I remember that you got a GX tin. You had to like get them from. I don't know if they were sent out here or in the mail. You had to collect these things for them.
No, so these were part of a magazine thing,
Yeah.
um, where you'd go up to a news agent, you'd buy the magazine, and everything's every 2 weeks a new issue would come out, and they'd have like these little medallions. I
Yeah.
think I stopped collecting them after like the third week.
Yeah. But
Um,
the tin was the most important part here that you got.
yeah,
So there's a tin that hold the medallions, but you also had a James Bond tin that was for James Bond collectible cards, and they had the dividers of like proportioned, like perfectly proportioned squares for cards.
Oh man, that
And
was
then
so good. Like,
that was perfectly the exact same size as that Yu-Gi-Oh GX tin, and you just put the it's not styrofoam, it's like the softer material than styrofoam. It's like what people use to cut out like and hold like frame stuff. But
it was like plastic, but on one side. Then on the other side, there was a bit like texture to it.
yeah, it was like soft.
Yeah,
But once you put that in, and then you start putting decks in there, and then like they just sat there for years.
and then eventually it broke the little container thing, and then it just became card overflow again.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, is there anything else you can add on to yours that you remember?
Yeah, like literally, I don't remember you coming into the house straight away. I remember I was in the middle of playing a game, and then I was like, right, time to bring out the big briefcase, suitcase, whatever you want to call it, and try and show off that I had the bigger dick in this competition, kind of thing.
Now you mean by cards? Don't.
Of course, like
Yeah.
what else are we talking about?
Okay.
Come on, bro, get your mind out of the gutter. But yeah, and then I remember after that, I don't remember if we actually traded or not.
Mhm.
I think I might have just like said yeah and took your bag of cards and just threw it into the case.
Yeah, it's been that long. Like it's been what 16.
I yeah,
Years,
like
it's been a long time.
I literally can't remember anything past that. But what I do remember is the first thing that actually got me into Yu-Gi-Oh,
Hmm.
which was again someone on the road. I think they had just bought the Yu-Gi-Oh. It would have been 2002, wouldn't it? The Yu-Gi structure starter deck.
No, they came out later. They came out after the. They came out after the.
Right,
I think it was like 2003, 2004. They came out.
right. Well, they were like 2004 over here, anyways.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
But you could get them in newsagents. That's how weird it was.
yeah. Like they were. That's how big Yu-Gi-Oh was back then. Like like local news agents were selling them. It's crazy.
It was crazy, man. So yeah, I remember he got a deck, and I think the group of lads that I hung around with was like, "Oh, this fella on the road has the Dark Magician." I'm like, "What?" Like from the show, and he's like, "Yeah." So he ran over, and lo and behold, he had the Dark Magician, and I was like, "Oh my god, give me that card!" And he wouldn't give it to me. Um, so I was like, "Right, I need to find out where he got it, how much it costs." And I pretty much begged my grandmother to go over and get it for me. I think eventually I got it, but yeah, like that. As soon as I saw the cards were real and not just the show, I was just
Yeah.
under a trance.
See now, the story of how we first met. Like that wasn't my first memory of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like mine was like a good bit before that. Like I lived. Like this was before I moved. Actually, where this was even I think even a year or two before I moved. It was 2002 because I made my communion. I was only 8. Yeah, I was 8, 7 going on 8ish. But
Yeah,
I had a friend across the street who was like 2 years older than me. Uh, his name's Philip. I'd never have got in contact with him since I left. He was the guy who got me into this, and I'm still talking about it. 18 years later, 19 years later. Well, see back then it was so different. Like the style of play was different, and even just obtaining cards was different because there was no decks, and I was also a kid, so you just can't get lots of cards very easily. It was always like at the weekend, you're like, oh, can we go to the toy store? I want to get a Yu-Gi-Oh pack, or I want to get 2 Yu-Gi-Oh packs. And usually, uh, you pull like rares or super rares. There was even super rares and ultra rares were really, really uncommon to pull. But the first time I went down was a Toy Master, and I was like, they're like, oh yeah, we have this Yu-Gi-Oh set here, and it's I literally all I seen was blue eyes. I was like, oh yeah, blue eyes, yeah, that's from the show. Yeah, I'll take one of them packs. I pull it open as a guy the first night, and which just makes me so sad now thinking about it, because like it would have been a first dead pack, like guy the first night. I'm like, oh. But
I wouldn't have survived anyways.
no. But when I remember I got it, and I was like, oh man, this is really cool. And I showed it to my friend Philip, and he's like, oh, I'll trade you for it. And no, actually, I'm trying to think now because I think the Kaiba deck just came. Yeah, the Kaiba deck was definitely out then. That was 2000. That was 2002, 2003. So, because I remember he had a Kaiba deck, and he tried to trade me a Rude Kaiser. Was it a Rude Kaiser? Yeah, Rude Kaiser and reinforcements for the guy. He's like, oh, that's basically 2300 if you put them together. I'm like, no, I'm not trading this. Like, imagine no. And but you see, back then as well, like all the power play cards were so expensive. Like nobody had a Monster Reborn because it was in Legend Blue Eyes as an ultra rare. That was the only printing of it until the Yugi's deck. I think the next deck, the Evolution deck.
Do you not remember how long I was waiting to get a Polymerization card?
Yeah. Well, that was a long time as well.
I
But
literally waited up until Duelist Pack Yugi came out to get Polymerization.
the funny thing is, right, this is now because I know that Labyrinth of Nightmare was out at the time. I think Pharaoh Servant was out at the time as well. So if anybody's ever listening, they could probably like know what time I'm in. So LOB was obviously the set as well. But I remember that my friend Philip told me, and he goes, "What you should do is that you should ask them, can you take the box and pick a card out, and pick the card that's at the second last pack on the left side." So like he was only 8 or 9 anyways, but he said I think he might have been just talking to his ass, but like he's just like, oh, just pick that and you'll get a good card. And I was like, okay, sure, like cool, whatever. And yeah, at the weekend it got brought to the store again. I was like, can I have a look? Can I have a look at the box? And the guy was like, yeah, sure, yeah, pick one. Pick bottom left, open up, bang, Blue Eyes White Dragon. I was like, bro. I remember I was literally like walking through the town for like an hour, and I was literally just staring at it. I've been like, oh my god, oh, this is so cool. I was just like happy the whole way through. The first thing I done as soon as I got out of the car was I didn't go into the house, went straight over, ran across the street. I was knocking on his door, knocking on his window. This is a memory I'll always remember. He like opens, his blinds were closed on in his living room, and he opens it like slightly. I'm like, come out, and he's like, no, don't want to come out. And then I just put the blue eyes up against the window, and he literally just closes the blinds, runs straight to the door. How did you get this? And I was like, yeah, I done what you told me. And see, there's so many cards that I had back in the day that like I'd love to find. Like that would have been probably the LB first blue eyes as well, just collecting dust somewhere. I don't know where it is. Just gone, vanished. Because I'm pretty sure I never traded it. So I
Should
don't
never
know.
mind, like,
There's no
should never
market.
mind never mind what you had back in the day. I'm talking about like 5 years ago, cards that I had, and I regret selling them.
Yeah, card market, the market of Yu-Gi-Oh cards now is just crazy. Like that'd be for another day. Though. You could talk for hours about that.
Yeah.
But I do have the ban. Like we talk about the ban list, we can get into it a bit. But I assume I guess we'll talk about the updated ban list for a few. But before that, I want to. This is the ban list that would have been probably one of the first ban lists that happened since when we were playing as kids.
Yeah.
So BLS went from limited to forbidden. Sinister Serpent went from limited to forbidden. Tribe Infecting Fires went from limited to forbidden. Delinquent Duo went from limited to forbidden and has never come off since. Graceful Charity has went from limited to forbidden, never come off. Same with Pot of Greed. They all got hit in the same list. Mirror Force was banned. Ring of Destruction was also banned. Magician of Fate was at 3 and it went to 1. Night Assailant went from 2 to 1. Thousand Eyes went from 3 to 1. Tsukiyomi went from 3 to 1. That was at 1 for a long time as well. Same with Book of Moon. Book of Moon went from 3 to 1. I only went to 3 like a couple of months ago. It's crazy. This is 2005. Book of Tayu went from unlimited to 1. Confiscation was unbanned. Whoa, that's ridiculous. Why would you unban that card? Dark Hole was unbanned. Limiter removal was limited. Funny. Meta went from 3 to 1. Knock went from Open Mana Crossout went from 2 to 1. Scapegoat went from 3 to 1. Exchange of the Spirit did not exist in its previous list, but went straight to 1. That's interesting. Dark Scorpion, Chick the Yellow was at 2, and it went to 1. Oh, it went to 3, sorry. It went to 3. That card was nothing. What the hell? That's crazy.
Right back in the day.
Marauding Captain went from 2 to 3. Vampire Lord went from 2 to 3. Yeah, like all of them cards we were probably playing, like Dark Hole and stuff. Well, Dark Hole got unbanned eventually, but we didn't. I'm pretty sure we didn't play with a ban list. We didn't know it was a ban list.
No, man, I used to have fusion cards in my main deck.
Hmm.
Because I didn't have polymerization, I just sacrificed the monsters.
Yeah. And then we have the new ban list.
Oh, man.
I guess we just jump 16 years into the future. Here we are, more ban lists. And they banned LPs. Like, see, like, you didn't play much competitive, so you wouldn't really know what the hits were. But I
No,
think
like
even
the
you knew
last
yourself
thing.
what LP was like.
No, the last actual competitive Yu-Gi-Oh I would have done was literally a year ago.
Yeah.
Back when Dogmatica just came out, that's all I was like training to come up against because I was getting ready to come back to locals, and then COVID hit. So then I just stopped paying attention to anything in Yu-Gi-Oh for a year.
Yeah, very fair. Dryden being banned again, went from unbanned to limited back to banned. That's fair. Card was stupid. I hate that card.
Card is stupid.
They just followed the OTG though. I thought it was gonna survive for another 3 months, but no. They were just like, nah, let's just kill it now. Miss going to 1. Yeah, it's kind of sad. It was at 1 already though. I am a Dino Master. I can compromise. Joker from bans to limited. I
That's
doubt
my boy.
it doesn't do anything. Like
It's not gonna do anything.
Monkey Board is still banned, so like it's fine. As long as
With the, with
Monkey
the
Board is still banned, I don't care.
with the way the new pendulum mechanics are working out, Joker's not gonna do anything.
No.
Not on his own, anyways.
Striker Dragon got limited. Yeah, the deck can still play, but the deck is Salmon Great Mirage Stalio. I don't know why they done that. What a crazy card to bring back. And then there's the most controversial one. Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. Forbidden, but now limited. That card can die a long, painful death. Like it's to the point where it's that strong that I have to play the deck, and I almost don't have a choice because this card is now around again. The Striker is just so silly. Like it was played before Engage was like when Engage was banned, and it's still being played now. So with Engage, it's going to be even worse. Double Irish Magician. I'm pretty sure this is like a test going from 1 to 2 because I don't think they want any cards on the semi-limited list except for Mali.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's their goal. They usually put something on the semi-limited list and then put it to 3 the next list if it's fine. Then Symbol of Heritage card that does nothing.
What even is that card like?
Yeah. This is fine. I thought Dragoon was gonna get banned, to be honest with you. But
I mean, it would have been like the bookie's choice to get banned.
Yeah, but like the stuff that people thought was gonna get hit just didn't get hit. It was like Dragoon, like some sort of invoked hit with like Alistair or Meltdown that was not hit either. It's crazy. But it happens. What else you got, Ray?
Right. Well, you mentioned there that you're the Dino Master.
Yeah.
So do you want to have a little chat about like favorite decks or archetypes?
See, I've played dinosaurs for the longest time, but I don't know. I don't think it'd be my favorite deck. My favorite deck that I used to play was against you. It was the 2011 Heradic deck with Future Fusion.
Oh man.
You activate Future Fusion, reveal 5-headed dragon, send 5 dragons to your graveyard, and you had 3 Darkness Metal, and you just absolutely abuse it, and it was crazy. It was like a big, massive OTK deck.
That was the deck I used in Legacy the Duelist
Yeah,
to beat Armstrong because Armstrong was too strong.
that deck was probably one of my favorites because I had so much fun playing it. Because it's just chaos dragons. It was like Light Pulsar Dragon, Dark Player Dragon, and the deck was broke that you bought. The Dragons Collide deck. That
Yeah,
deck was
man.
so good. It had everything. Like I think the hardest card to get was like a 5-headed dragon. It was in like Gold Series, and that was it.
No, I think the hardest card to get would have been Darkness Metal because it was so good at the time.
No, it was a common in the deck in the structure deck.
What was it? Was it in the
Yeah,
structure?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's broke. Yeah, it
Oh, that's insane.
was a common. Yeah,
Yeah, 5-headed dragon would have been hard to get then,
and
or
it was
Future
also a
Fusion.
3 at the time. So like you just go banish summon darkness metal effect, special dragon, banish that dragon, summon darkness metal effect, special summon dragon, just keep going nuts.
That goes burr.
Yeah, pretty much. And then there was a combo with I think it was Light Pulsar. If it dies, you can bring back darkness metal, and then you can use the effect again and bring back Light Pulsar. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite deck was the Heradic deck back then. But I do enjoy dinosaurs now and then. But you can get very bored of it very quickly. What about yours? What's your list? What you got?
See, I haven't really got like a specific deck that I enjoyed playing. I guess
Yeah.
it probably would have been back in the day the Machine deck, where the main goal was to get Machine King and do bits and pieces with Machine King.
Or TG Halberd
Um,
Cannon that you could never summon, but you always just chat it anyways and summon it.
yeah, man, I don't read cards. What do you mean summon conditions?
I never read cards either.
Yeah, no, I mean, I played, what was it, the World Championship 2011 Yu-Gi-Oh game for the DS,
Yeah,
and I actually replayed that to unlock all the cards, and I played Six Samurai in that, and that was full power Six Samurai, and that was really fun to play.
yeah. Gateway's a
Um,
good card.
yeah, like IRL, I haven't really gotten decks or I haven't really gotten to the stage where I completed a deck. I guess the closest complete deck that I would have played would have been Monarchs.
Yeah.
That's because it was just 3 structures and it was really fun to play.
It was 3 structures, 2 Majesty's Fiends, and a Kuraz. That was the whole deck.
Yeah, and you didn't even need to play Kuraz.
You
That was the
couldn't,
thing.
but there was a really good combo with Kuraz and Return where you could add a card and then draw 2.
Oh yeah, I mean like when I got into competitive, air quotes, competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, it was around the time the Magician Pendulum structure came out, and I
That
bought
was like
3 of that.
I think that was like a triangle format though. That was like Monarchs, Cosmo, and BA were like the best decks.
No,
But
so
the structure that came out,
Monarchs would have coming out just after that. They were the next structure after Pendulum Magicians, I think.
but yeah, it was like a triangle format though, where Monarchs beat BA and Cosmo beat BA, but BA beat. No, wait, what was it? I can't remember. It was a triangle format, anyways, but one beat the other and the other beat the other. I
Yeah,
think Cosmo. I think Cosmo beat BA, but Monarchs beat Cosmo. I think that's what it was. See, like they didn't really care. Oh yeah, I think it was because once Manchi Fiend hit the field, like Cosmo can't play.
yeah, because they can't activate effects or anything or special.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, pretty fun.
Um, I tried getting full power Pepe like right before the emergency ban, or right after the emergency ban. I think I got as close as I was going to get
I think you bought
before the
Luster.
deck was just dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got a cheeky deal on Luster. And then the list was like, yeah, no, he's gone. You're not playing him. And I'm like, okay,
That was
new
crazy. I thought
deck
it was a
time.
joke first when they're like, "No, it's an emergency ban list. Like we have to actually ban these cards straight away." You're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, it turns out that was like the second one ever, was it?
Yeah, second one ever. Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was literally as we were getting into the more competitive side of the game,
Yeah,
and that's crazy. Like basically our first format had an emergency ban list.
yeah. No, I actually was gonna actually mention. This is just like back to like the old day, like old kind of Yu-Gi-Oh days. Do you know that? Like, I only read this. Did you know why that? Did I tell you why Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon isn't in Go format?
No.
Because it wasn't. It technically wasn't legal until like 2006 or around 2006, 2007. Because like it was a promo for almost 5 years. It was released like 4 or 5 times, but they were all game promos.
Wow.
So it wasn't technically legal for play. And
Yeah.
when the movie came out, Blue Eyes Shining Dragon was out, and Blue Eyes Ultimate wasn't. So Blue Eyes Shining Dragon was an unplayable card for like a year or two. It's
It
ridiculous.
was. It
Imagine
was.
they had that. I can't wait to put this in my deck, but I can't play it.
Yeah. It was Retro Pack when it was officially released, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, that's when Blue Eyes Shining got the secret rare bump then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that. It could be the Retro Pack 1. I think it was Retro Pack 1 as an Ultra. Could have been. I'm not sure.
I think Retro Pack 1 had Blue Eyes Ultimate in it, and Retro Pack 2 had Shining Dragon in it.
Yeah. Oh, see, yeah. So what happened is that Retro Pack 1 had Blue Eyes Ultimate in it. I think the special edition of the Retro Pack 2 had it as a promo. It was Gores or Blue Eyes Ultimate. I think so.
Well,
Yeah,
I must have had some really bad luck because all I ever got was Gores out of those.
yeah. I also got Gores. Oh no, it was Gores or the green baboon, wasn't it? I think it was that.
I don't know. I think they might have been different for Europe and the US.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we were just guaranteed Gores in our ones.
Yeah, that was the thing I had to bring back up because I was wondering why people don't play Blue Eyes Ultimate, but play Master of Oz instead. So that's the answer.
That's
Wasn't legal.
because Oz is best card, bro.
Yeah, big Aussie panda. Go boom. But yeah, I think it goes into your name. What about Cyber Dragons? No love for Cyber Dragons.
It's a love-hate relationship with Cyber Dragons. I love to love them, but they hate to be good whenever I play them.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago I tried making them. I was net decking lists left, right, and center, and I tried my best to play the deck, and I just got absolutely wiped by all the pendulum decks in the format.
Yeah.
And this isn't even like full power pendulum decks. This is like little trash stuff like Magic Specters and like I think there might have been a Dynamist in there.
Magic Specters were actually okay at one point in time. But yeah, it's not.
Yeah, but not when
Kieran's a good card, but
yeah, not when Kieran was around. Wasn't around. Like the deck needs Kieran.
like, they didn't even need Kieran. They didn't even. I'm pretty sure some lists didn't even play Kieran because it wasn't that good in Magic Spectre because they're all untargetable.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
You just played the back row that was the worst. Like it was Magic Spectre, Tornado, Magic Spectre, like all the Cyclone. Like there was all of them back row that was a nightmare, and he could just set them all of the dudes. I think Metal Falls was probably around then as well. That was a good deck.
Not when I was playing Cyber Dragons the first time around. That was more around ABC time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I like playing Cyber Dragons. I like the idea of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
I have the profile up on my channel at the moment where I'm playing Power Bond and Limiter Removal because I want to have fun playing the deck. I don't care if I win or lose with it. If I can get like a 32k Cyber End Dragon on board, I think that's a win for me.
The big flex.
Yeah. Even if I lose the game, I got like a 32k monster on board.
Wait, how does that work? Double limiter?
So you'd go Power Bond.
So it's on 8k.
So it's on 8, and then you can go limiter and limiter again. Yeah. And plus he has piercing, so you can put your whatever you want on your field. He's gonna kill you.
Just activate Book of Moon, bro. Easy.
And while I'm talking about favorite decks, I'm gonna talk about the infamous mirror match that we had a while ago, where we were both playing Grinder Golem, Inferno Tempest.
Oh god. Okay.
Do you remember this duel?
Probably. I can't
because
remember.
the life points got very high, my friend.
Oh, it's probably like 100k. Whoa. Yeah.
Because I think we were literally playing the exact same list.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think Necrophase was only at 1 at the time. Yeah, pretty sure it was at 1. So if it was at 3, it would have been even worse.
Yeah, because we were using Grinder Golem. So you would attack me with Grinder Golem. You activate Inferno Tempest.
Yeah.
I do the same to you.
And we have soul absorption. Oh no! What usually happened was is in that mirror match is that we'd have no monsters left, and we wouldn't be like if we didn't have a monster in our hand, we just take out.
Oh, it was literally who could get the Maju out on board first or deck the other person out.
Yeah, but see, if you didn't have a Maju in your hand and you activated Tempest, like everything's gone, all your monsters are gone. You had no way to
Yeah,
get them back unless you played DDR and you need to have it in your hand. But yeah, that was a wild deck.
that was crazy. It's fun
Rest in
times
peace,
playing those kind
Echo.
of decks.
Yeah, I was introduced to it like by someone in locals actually. And he was like, "Oh, yeah. What happens is you attack it, and then you take 3K and you activate this card." And I read it, and I was like, "What? Spanish everything?" I was like, "That's crazy." You just turn your deck upside down, like. But yeah, uh, and then you activate DD Dynamite, and then you burn your opponent, and then you win. You give them a thumbs up, and then they cry. They go home.
Yeah, man. Some crazy times back in the day.
Funny enough, I still have play a deck similar to that. I just don't play Inferno Tempest. I
Yeah, because
actually, you know
Golem's
what?
dead.
Actually, so I might actually just for shits and giggles side Inferno Tempest for the YCS and play the deck, play Grand Maju. And if someone just attacks me, I'm like, "Cool, bro, activate Inferno Tempest." But the thing is, right? If I resolve an Inferno Tempest and I have no monsters in my hand or no monsters, like I'm banishing 3 Necro Faces, so I'm gonna banish another 15 cards off my opponent's deck. So if they play 15 spell or traps or less, if I have more cards, if I still have a card in my deck, I'll just pass and then I win. I just deck them out.
That's an interesting strategy.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, you're leaving yourself wide open to attacks, and if your opponent destroys it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, man. Have we got anything else on the topic list to talk about?
Yeah.
Kind of like in the early days or our favorite stuff. Um,
It's the anime. I think around that time, I think GX was only starting.
yeah, that was the stuff that was on after school for me, was
Yeah,
GX.
yeah.
And the OG series was early mornings on the Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just try this as kind of like a nice end question here.
Mm-hmm.
But have you got a favorite set slash your best pull or your most favorite pull? I guess you would have mentioned your blue eyes there, but I guess you can say your most valuable pull then
That would
in
be my
regards
most.
to just specifically Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, that would probably be my, like if I'm counting it now, that would be my most valuable pull would be the blue eyes. But I don't think I can count it now because back then I probably was nowhere near that money.
I think we have to count as if you pulled it at the time,
Yeah, yeah,
what it would
value
have
at
been.
the time. Not sure to be honest. My most recent one that I can remember was Forbidden Droplet from the OTS pack.
Yeah,
That was like
I guess it would be more recent stuff, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Like the high rare stuff. Like I think my
cards
most,
just get more valuable now.
yeah, like I think my most valuable quote Yu-Gi-Oh card pull was literally that Rush Duel Dark Magician.
Yeah, before that was probably a long time ago.
Yeah, it was probably like Imperm or something at the sneak peek or um Pendulum Sorcerer at the sneak peek.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that was probably the card. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, so I think we've been going for what, nearly an hour?
Yeah,
More than an hour?
just about an hour. Yeah. We
So
got
if you made it this far, we'd appreciate a like and subscribe maybe. Some feedback on the episode, what you think about it would be nice. And if there's any format changes that you'd recommend us do. And if you have any questions for future episodes, because I don't think this is going to be a one-off thing. I think we're going to try and do a few of these. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments or tweet them at us or comment on our Instagram feeds. We'll have all that stuff in the description of the video on YouTube.
Yeah, or wherever wherever this is going, it could possibly go on to podcast platforms. But if you continue to listen to us, we'll explain more where they go.
Yeah, definitely. Like sharing is easily the most valuable resource that you can do. All you have to do is copy the link and send it to somebody that you think would enjoy it, and that would help us more than you could ever know, than doing a little copy and paste job.
Because you know why, guys? Okay. $19 Yu-Gi-Oh card. Who wants it?
Well, on that note,
share. And duelists, don't be scrubs.
well, that's too late for me. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.